Welcome to Cyber Risk Insider, where we explore the world of cybersecurity and help you stay ahead of the ever-evolving digital landscape. I'm Casey, and in today's video, we'll be discussing the significance of the CIS framework to enhance cybersecurity. By the end of this video, you will have a comprehensive overview of the framework and why it matters. Let's take a look. So, the CIS controls were developed in 2008 by various organizations, government agencies, and industry professionals. The controls were initially developed in response to the increasing number and sophistication of cyber attacks. The goal was to create a best practice that organizations could implement to improve their cybersecurity posture. The CIS controls have been updated several times since they were first released, and the most recent iteration, version 8, is being leveraged by organizations around the world. And as of May 2021, has been downloaded more than 200,000 times. Here's a quick glimpse of the CIS version 8 guide. It might look overwhelming, but don't worry, I'll break it down step by step in future videos. The CIS controls were developed with 5 key principles in mind. Let's take a look at them. The first principle, offense informs defense, implies that controls are selected and prioritized based on data and knowledge of attacker behavior. This means that controls are selected and designed with the most common and impactful threats in mind. Second, controls are focused, which helps defenders identify the most critical areas that need to be addressed to stop the most threatening attacks. The controls are not meant to solve every security problem, but rather to focus on the most important areas at risk. Third, controls are feasible, meaning that all controls are specific and practical to implement for all organizations, regardless of size and budget. Fourth, all controls are measurable, especially the Controls and Implementation Group version 1. This allows organizations to track their progress over time and ensure that they are effectively implementing the controls. And lastly, controls are designed to integrate with other governance, regulatory, process management schemes, frameworks, and structures such as HIPAA, PCI, CMMC, and several others. In other words, the framework is a set of valuable resources for organizations of all sizes. It's a set of security controls that organizations can implement to help mitigate against the most common and threatening attacks. Now, let's go over the implementation groups. IG1 is the foundation of cyber defense safeguards that every enterprise should apply to defend against. IG2 builds upon IG1 and includes additional safeguards that can help organizations mitigate more sophisticated attacks. IG3 is the most comprehensive and includes all of the safeguards in IG1 and IG2, as well as additional safeguards for organizations with high-value assets or that are subject to strict regulatory requirements. In total, IG3 consists of 153 safeguards. Organizations should start by implementing IG1 first, then move into IG2 and then IG3. The pace of implementation will vary depending on the size and complexity of the organization and available resources. Now, before we continue, let's take a look at where you can find these controls and even filter them out based on the other regulatory standards and frameworks that you may want to comply with. Let's go to cisecurity.org. Once the page loads, move over to Solutions, and under the drop-down, select CIS Security Controls. Here we have a few different options, including downloading the controls, but what we want to do is move over to Resources. Once you've selected Resources, scroll down just a little bit. And under CIS Controls Navigator, let's click on that. Once the page loads, you can see that we can filter out by IG1, IG2, and the page automatically loads into IG3. What's really useful here is the mappings. This allows you to compare the controls to other standards and frameworks. Before I dive into the mappings, just take a quick note here of the current safeguards that we're viewing. As you can see here, they're all selected. Go ahead and select PCI version 4, and you can see here that not all the safeguards are there. That's because we're now mapping the current controls to the PCI version 4 controls. So I hope you found this useful. Now that you understand some of the mappings a little bit, let's get back into the video. First up, we have the foundation of controls, which are the cornerstone of the cybersecurity strategy. These controls are indispensable for every organization, regardless of its size or industry. Think of them as the central building blocks for your security posture. The fundamental controls effectively tackle the most common and critical cyber threats that organizations face, offering a robust security foundation that helps prevent the most prevalent and destructive attacks. Among these, IG1 is typically less complex and less costly to implement, making it a practical choice for all organizations. It places a strong focus on essential cyber hygiene practices. By integrating these controls into their operations, organizations can significantly reduce their vulnerability to the most typical cyber threats. Moving up to the second tier, we encounter more foundational controls. These controls build upon the basics and are designed to enhance your cybersecurity posture further as it focuses on defense in depth strategies. Organizations with higher security needs or greater risk should consider implementing these controls as they provide additional layers of security that are aligned with other cybersecurity frameworks. This makes it easier for organizations that implement IG2 controls to achieve compliance with other industry regulations. Finally, at the top tier, we find IG3. These controls are tailored for organizations with mature cybersecurity practices. They go beyond technical aspects and focus on integrating security into organizational culture and strategic planning. Organizational controls help align the cybersecurity efforts with business goals. They ensure that security isn't just a departmental concern, but an integral part of the organization. This adds focus on subjects such as continuous improvement of currently implemented security procedures like monitoring, threat intelligence, incident response testing, and areas like DevOps to help organizations develop and deploy secure systems and applications. IG3 is also aligned with Zero Trust security in mind and assumes that no user, device, or application can be trusted by default. So, as you can see, the CIS controls are a crucial resource for organizations looking to improve their cybersecurity defenses. It's not just a set of guidelines, it's a roadmap. In the upcoming videos, we'll dive deeper into what IG1 looks like. But for now, don't forget to like and subscribe for other cybersecurity insights. If you have any questions or topics that you would like to see covered, please leave a comment below. And as always, thank you for joining and building a fortified digital future today.